Happy Friday, Buffs. We got a lineup you won't want to miss this Friday, April 21st.
We'll be giving you the inside scoop on the spring game and what to expect tomorrow.
The anniversary of the Columbine High School tragedy was yesterday. We have some ways for you to show kindness to those around you.
A small business is making DIY more affordable.
And finally, how having a unique emotional support animal can meet different needs.
Stay tuned for all of that and more here on NewsTeam Boulder.
Hello and welcome to the April 21st edition of NewsTeam Boulder. I'm Derek Hernandez.
And I'm Mimi Herrick.
The spring game is coming up tomorrow and you can just feel the excitement in the air.
Absolutely. It's going to be such an exciting and busy day. Tomorrow is the first time we get to see Coach Prime and his team in action at the Black and Gold game. Let's go to NewsTeam Boulder's Megan McPherson, who is live outside of Folsom Field right now. Megan, what do we need to know ahead of tomorrow's craziness?
Yeah, that's right, Mimi. The big day is almost here. In less than 24 hours, we will finally get to see head coach Deion Prime Sanders and his new CU football squad in action here at Folsom Field behind me. Aside from a few returners from last year's squad, this Colorado team is basically a new look bunch that fans will get their first in-person look at this weekend. Coach Prime has helped attract nearly 30 transfers, a few early enrollees, and an expected sellout crowd of around 45,000. Yes, 45,000 excited Buff fans here at Folsom. This is the first time in program history that the spring football game here in Boulder has been sold out. And get this, for the first time since 1996, CU has sold all of their season tickets ahead of the 2023 season. It's incredible how many records are being broken here in Boulder. Now, you can see that I'm wearing my black and gold because tomorrow is Black and Gold Day here at CU. So not only will there be a football game going on, but there's also plenty of other festivities for Buff fans and students on campus to come out and enjoy. Deion and his football squad may be the main event, but it's not the only event. Boulder is hosting an entire day's worth of events, starting with a field day on Franklin Field. Students and student athletes can mingle and play different field games from 10:30 to 12:30 on Saturday. Then at 11 a.m., the volleyball team will play their spring game at the CU Event Center, and the soccer team will play at the same time. Then Primetime will take the field for the first time at Folsom Field at 1 p.m. That's when the game will start. An entire day full of scrimmages so we can get excited for next year's games. Now, keep in mind, Buffs, it is going to be absolute pandemonium here on campus. Parking is going to be very scarce. It's also Colorado in-state students admitted day tomorrow, so all students in Colorado that have been admitted to the university for next year will be coming out tomorrow for some festivities here as well. So it's going to be very, very crowded, to say the least. So make sure that you get here early if you're coming to the game. Try to walk places if you can. There's not going to be a lot of parking, and for example, the case lot is marked off for that Colorado in-state student day. So just be aware of that as you make your plans for tomorrow. Reporting live from Folsom Field, Megan McPherson, NewsTeam Boulder.
It's been a while since our last football game, so we've got some reminders to make tomorrow go smoothly.
Firstly, you're going to need to bring a clear bag if it's over 12 by 6 by 12 inches.
If you're planning on drinking, remember to set boundaries for yourself and not go too overboard, no matter how excited you may be.
And have a plan on how you're getting home. You can take public transportation or CU Night Ride. Keep yourself safe and everyone around you by driving sober or having a designated driver. Speaking of driving and safety, this Saturday is In-State Admitted Students Day. Not only will there be a lot of football buffs, there will also be a lot of future buffs. Here's more on parking. With 45,000 attendees expected to be at Saturday's Black and Gold game, there is only one thing that is really stressing people out, and it's definitely not who's going to win the game. It's parking. Parking Services says that pre-sold permits are sold out, and there will be extremely limited main campus parking. No cash will be accepted. Lots 205, 204, and 310 are reserved for admitted student day guests as well as admissions and staff only. There will be $10 text-to-pay parking available on East Campus with shuttles running to and from the stadium. However, even if you have a permit, Parking Services says you are still not guaranteed a spot, so definitely arrive early.
Coming up after the break, NewsTeam's Piper Vaughn tells us more about the Columbine anniversary.
Don't go away, we'll be right back.
April 20th was the 24th anniversary of the tragic Columbine shooting. NewsTeam's Piper Vaughn explored what we can do to contribute to the dedicated day of service in honor of the lives lost.
When most students hear the word Columbine, they remember the tragedy that occurred on April 20th, 1999. But after Governor Jared Polis enacted a proclamation announcing this day as an Act of Kindness Day, where people all around the country can perform acts of kindness in remembrance of those who lost their lives. Former Columbine principal Frank DeAngelis reflects on this tragic day.
My secretary runs in and she said, Dee, there's been a report of gunfire and bombs exploding, and it's not resonating. And all of a sudden, my worst nightmare becomes a reality because a gunman is about 100 yards away from me. 12 of my kids were killed, along with one of my best friends, Dave Sanders, and 26 were injured. And I still think about looking in their eyes, knowing that their kids walked into the building at 7 o'clock and they never returned home.
Starting in 2019, there is a new approach to the anniversary date. It now calls for a day of service on April 20th. After Governor Jared Polis signed a declaration on April 20th, 2019, many schools hope the acts of kindness on that day will bring people together in memory of the beloved 13. The proclamation states that this day of service has been adopted by other schools in Colorado across the United States and across the world. You too can be part of the National Service Day, whether it's coming to the UMC to donate canned goods to the Buff Pantry or even just cleaning up your local neighborhood. Whatever you can do to remember the lives lost and make this day a little bit brighter. Piper Vaughn, NewsTeam Boulder.
Looking for something to do tonight? Program Council is putting on the biggest music event of the semester at 8 p.m. tonight in the Glenn Miller Ballroom, headlined by Grammy-nominated rapper Corday with Neptune and guitarist Rusty Steve opening. This event is open to the public.
Dance the night away at Havana Nights, a salsa celebration event taking place at the Dairy Arts Center at 8 p.m. tonight. There will be different wine and beer options available. Tomorrow at 11 a.m., women's water polo is headed to their conference championships at VMAC.
With finals week coming up, take advantage of the wellness resources offered by CU. The Rec will be hosting free activities for all Rec Center members during finals week, which will be May 5th to the 10th.
With the semester coming to an end, freshmen do not forget to donate any items you no longer need. These items could include shoes, clothing, unopened and non-perishable foods, books, school supplies, toiletries, hygiene products, and cleaning supplies. Tomorrow is Earth Day, and a business here in Boulder is helping people get crafty and keeping extra supplies out of the landfills and into your homes. Tessa Stigler has more.
Americans send 150 tons of waste into landfills each year, according to the EPA. But not everything that is put into our landfills is truly waste. Art Parts Creative Reuse Center is located about a 5-minute drive north of campus and is a safe haven for all of the excess art supplies in Boulder. Art Parts takes donations from the community and resells them at minimal cost to cover the expenses of running the nonprofit.
Which means keeping partially used supplies off our curbs and into our homes.
With a mission of fostering creativity and reducing waste, Art Parts has diverted just over 200,000 pounds from landfills as of July 2022.
I've always been crafty, considered myself a maker and an artist, and so just a place where I could find high quality, affordable products was awesome, and then as a bonus of being able to keep things out of the landfill.
But outside of the environmental impact, part of the nonprofit's mission is to introduce a community of artists and creatives to affordable materials.
But I say the majority of people are just kind of cool, crafty people.
And for many of the staff members, that is their favorite part, the people. And moving forward, Megan hopes to continue to grow the clientele.
Continued growth, definitely continuing to build the capacity of our staff team so we can meet the community's need in terms of offering creative, affordable products.
For NewsTeam Boulder, this is Tessa Stigler.
After the break, Tessa Stigler takes us through the weather for the weekend.
And later, we'll see how one little rabbit is a big part in one girl's life.
Hey Buffs, my name's Tessa Stigler and I've got the weather for you today. If we look at today, we've got a high of 54 and a low of 30. It's partly sunny earlier today, moving into some clouds and a bit breezy. We could have seen wind gusts as high as 30 miles per hour today. And into this evening, we're looking at a 60% chance of precipitation with rain and snow and a possibility of no more than half an inch of snow. So hopefully it stays that way. Friday, again, we've got that high of 54 and that low of 30. And then Saturday for the spring game, we've got less than ideal weather. A high of 46 and a low of 30 and a good chance of snow. We're likely going to see that snow before 7 a.m., so hopefully it all melts off. And as we enter the evening, that snow should turn into rain with a 60% chance of precipitation. If we take a look at Sunday, the weather should get a little bit nicer. Sunday, we're looking at mostly sunny, a high of 60 and a low of 36 with some clouds coming in that evening. And Monday, we continue that warm weather with a high of 67 and a low of 41. We've got a chance of rain in the evening and some thunderstorms, but overall, it's looking pretty good. If we take a look at the weather in Colorado and our northwest section of the state, we've got some good temperatures. We're reaching 40s, we're reaching 50s. And if you look in Denver too, and in the east, we're seeing 50s and 60s. It's just where we are in Boulder, where it's not budging and staying cold. So we're still looking at 20s and 30s in Boulder in just the central Colorado area. If we take a look at air quality for Colorado and nationally, we're looking at pretty good air quality nationally, except for Phoenix. It's looking a little rough there, and that air quality is actually unhealthy for sensitive groups of people due to air pollutants. In fact, Phoenix ranks number 5 on the top 25 worst ozone pollutions nationally. Denver is actually just 6th, right behind Phoenix. While we may be having a good day, it's not necessarily normal for us. In fact, 3 Colorado cities were ranked in the top 25 worst ozone pollution nationally this year. Denver coming at number 6, Fort Collins coming at 15th, and a new addition, Colorado Springs at 20th. That's all I've got for weather for you all today. Coming up after the break, Alyssa Palazzo takes a look at how unique emotional support animals aid their owner. Stay tuned.
Research shows people battling mental illness can benefit from owning an emotional support animal. One of CU's students' furry friends may not be what you think. NewsTeam's Alyssa Palazzo reports.
When most people picture an emotional support animal, or ESA, it looks something like this, a happy dog.
I just needed a little something extra for my mental health.
But for one student at CU, her support comes from what some may call unconventional.
I got Goose my freshman year, second semester, when I was in the dorms.
Goose is a 6-year-old Holland Lop rabbit that junior Danny Bossy has had since freshman year. Her fluffy friend has been there for her in the dorms and in her sorority house. For both, the process looked like this.
I think I just had to fill out a form for the dorms, and then I had a note from both my psychiatrist and my therapist explaining why I need him and how he would benefit me.
Bunnies make great pets, but sociology professor Leslie Irvine isn't sure about how effective they'd be as emotional support animals.
I have no doubt that they can be emotional support animals. Bunnies are very hard pets to have, actually. They require a lot of care and careful handling. So I don't think they'd be the easiest support animals.
Danny recognizes Goose isn't a typical ESA, but says it works for her.
They're not particularly affectionate, and they really don't like being held or cuddled or anything like that. But I've had bunnies my whole life. I've never had dogs, I've never had any other animal. So it's just something I knew how to take care of. Danny has this handy dandy little backpack, so she can take her fuzzy little bunny with her anywhere, to class, home, whatever it may be, so that she can always be emotionally supported.
Goose isn't the only ESA Danny has adopted. She also has a pet snail named Yerba. Whether it hops or scoots, people find solace in all kinds of animals. For NewsTeam Boulder, I'm Alyssa Palazzo.
Oh, now I just want to go home and snuggle up with my own pets.
Me too, but how well do you think that's going to work with a fish?
A little wet, but I'm sure you could figure it out. Well, that wraps up another episode of NewsTeam Boulder.
We'll see you next week for our final 2 episodes of the season.